Last year, Sony's A95K was a very impressive TV. It did everything that the Samsung S95B QD-OLED did, except for a little bit better in almost every area. It wasn't that it was huge differences, but it was just enough to make you say, yeah, that is the TV of the year. And TV of the year it was for many people. The main focus of this video is going to be to look ahead to the A95L, talk about its price tag that was just released, and also discuss why the A95K was such an impactful TV. So think of this video as a little bit of a re-review for the A95K in 2023, and also a look ahead to the A95L. Now before we dive into everything about the A95L, I do want to talk about the A95K in the fact that it is still a really great TV to purchase in 2023, and if the price drops even further, then I think you are going to have a very competitive TV still. With the S95C and the G3 in mind, the A95K does still hold its own against those TVs, and I have done comparisons with those TVs in mind. I personally thought it did very well against the LG G3, and I thought that it was the better TV overall. Yes, the G3 could get a little bit brighter than the A95K, but the A95K just had so many more benefits over the G3. Not only did the A95K have better screen uniformity, but it also just appeared to have better processing overall. That's not really a shock considering the XR processor is probably the best processing that is in any TV right now. Now, when you put it up against another QD OLED like the S95C, for example, then you are getting a very close result here, with the S95C being slightly brighter in some scenes, but in the majority of scenes, not a huge difference. So yes, QD OLED versus QD OLED does put you in a very similar circumstance, no matter what the TV is, even if it's Generation 1 QD OLED versus Generation 2 QD OLED. There's not a huge gap there. There's not a noticeable visual difference that you can see in a lot of scenes. You really have to go and nitpick and look for these differences. And I think that S95C overall does have a slight picture quality advantage, but then it gets taken away because the A95K does have the processing advantage. So you want to kind of just find your strengths and your weaknesses when you're looking at these two TVs and pick whatever is going to suit you the best there. So looking ahead to the A95L, it's hard not to be excited about it. It is going to be a great TV overall, we already know that. But will it end up being the TV of the year and beating the S95C in a lot of people's minds? But what will be the deciding factor there? Will it be the brightness category, where Sony does claim that the A95L will be 200% brighter than the A95K? To be honest, that is a big promise to try to keep, and it really does sound like marketing speak, so we'll see if they back that claim up. But let's say that they do back that claim up, then we are looking at a TV that should be brighter than the A95K, the S95C, and maybe even the G3. And even if it can't quite get to the G3's brightness level, we know that the color brightness on the QD OLEDs are better, so you will see a better color brightness. Another thing you can consider the A95L maybe having a bigger advantage over both of those TVs is the fact that in 2023, you will be seeing an improvement to the XR processing with some new features like XR Clear Image, where you will have less blur and less noise in your image. So what already is the best processor, in my opinion, gets even better with these added features. Now, I already know what you're thinking. This is going to come at a cost, and you're absolutely right. It will be pricier than the competition. Now, the price of the A95L was shown to be as followed. The 77-inch is going to be $5,000. The 65-inch is going to be $3,500, and then the 55-inch is going to be $2,800. So let's take a look at the price differences for the A95L and the S95C and the G3. We're looking at $4,500 for the 77-inch size. When we're looking at the 65-inch size, you're looking at $3,300. And looking at the 55-inch size, you can see that it is $2,300. So with $500 differences at the 77-inch size and the 55-inch size, that's looking like less of a deal. But if you're looking at the 65-inch size, it's only a $200 difference there. Even at $500 difference, it could be a justifiable claim to get the A95L if you need certain features like the sound quality. Typically, Sony TVs just offer really amazing sound quality for the TV speakers, where you can't really say the same about the S95C or the G3 this year. So if the picture quality is that much better, maybe it is easier to justify the A95L. But there's one thing that you might be forgetting here, and that's the fact that the A95L is not seeing a price cut like the S95C and the G3 will be seeing. And if I had to guess, I would imagine you see a price cut pretty soon on the C3 and the S95C, right around the same time you see the A95L release. And hopefully in that time, we will see a price cut on the A95K to make that a little bit more competitive, because I still think that is a TV to watch for in 2023 if it's the right price. Now, there is one more thing you need to factor into your TV buying decision, and that is the existence of the S90C QD OLED. You can get a really good quality QD OLED TV in the S90C for a fraction of the price, which is another reason why I would love to see the A95K get a price cut, because there's no denying the S90C is just such a great value right now. So I really want to know, what TV would you guys end up getting? Are you going to go after the more premium A95L? Are you looking at the S95C, G3, or S90C? Or are you looking at one of last year's models with the A95K or S95B? I would love to know your answer. Now, if you're a gamer, this answer gets a lot more complicated, and I wouldn't pick the G3 if that's the case, and the reason for that can be seen in this video right here.